How's it going, guys? I just got back from watching Kraven the Hunter, and let me tell you, it is a movie. I mean, it's a movie that exists, you know. Now, is it a good movie? Is it a bad movie? We'll get to that in a second, but this is not a traditional review. I don't do 1 to 10. I do it based off a specific food with my big bag. I think a food is the best way to portray how I feel about a movie, so I have the food item right here that I'm going to eat that is going to represent Kraven the Hunter. And that is my review for the film. But we'll get to that food item in a second. But let's talk about it more. First, I want to talk about my overall experience, okay? Now, I didn't know they were showing movies this early. So, I got my ticket at 5 o'clock. And the movie started at 5:05. Okay? And when I looked at the theater layout, the theater seating, there were only 5 seats that were taken on opening night for Kraven. That is so sad, man. So sad. And I know the execs are freaking out over at Sony because they were dropping 8 minutes on YouTube. They were doing a bunch of stuff just to get this promoted because it seemed like nobody wanted to see it. That's why you guys are probably watching this review, because you don't want to see it. And we're not going to go into spoilers either. But you guys really don't want to see it. That's why. So I'll give you my review. I definitely feel like I wasted my money a little. And I feel like I should have gone to see Sonic instead. You know, I'm a big Sonic enjoyer. The first 2 movies were amazing, and I wanted to see the third, but I went to see Kraven instead for you guys. But I will say, it had some moments, and it did it better than other films. So if we're like looking at Morbius or Madam Web, we know those films were not great. They were not amazing. They were not good, in fact. But this movie is watchable. It is definitely watchable. But if you know Kraven in the comics, this is not the Kraven you are getting. So going into like kind of minor spoilers, like you'll find this out within like the first 10 minutes of the film. Kraven does not hunt animals. You heard me. Kraven does not hunt animals. So why the fuck is he named Kraven the Hunter? That's my question. He doesn't hunt animals at all. Why is the film Kraven the Hunter? Just make it Kraven at this point. God damn. Like, I don't know. And some of the character decisions that they gave to characters in this film felt really off as well. Like, I don't know. Some character motivations just switched up. Like, and the character motivations were not adding up throughout the film. And it got me so frustrated, bro. Like, I really want to go to spoilers, but I can't. I'll do a separate video if this gets enough likes, and I'll do it with a spoiler talk of everything that I want to say. But let's touch on how Kraven is not his character in the comics. So it's like there's this huge departure, and it feels like a completely different character. It feels like with all these Sony films, they are scared to make their villains actually villains. Kraven has not shown 1 ounce of villainy in this film. Not 1 ounce of villainy. He could be a vigilante for all I care. But in no sense is he evil. He only did one slightly malicious thing, but it could be considered good in today's day and age. So it's like, you have me watching a film about a villain, but the film isn't even, oh, my head hurts. You're trying to make him a hero. He's not Spider-Man. Just make him Spider-Man's villain. Just make him a villain again. Like, why is he out here caring about all this different shit? He's a villain at the end of the day. In the comics, he's a villain. In the movie, he should be a villain. But no. Not a villain. And it pisses me off, bro. Pisses me off. Y'all are ruining these characters for what, man? Come on. God damn it. I ought to turn into Kraven myself, bro. Like, this movie was so disappointing. Like, as a comic person, it was so disappointing. But I feel like if you go in not expecting comic accurate Kraven, you are going to have a good time. If you go in expecting to have Kraven the Hunter in the comics, you are not going to be happy. Let me just say that. So come in with a blank slate, and yeah, you'll have a good time. But if I'm ignoring all my comic bias here and talking purely from a film standpoint, I think the film was mediocre. Like, it had good action sequences. Like, the action was really good, but there was this one tiny flaw about every single action sequence. Kraven does not have super healing. Well, he could get hit by a bullet and he'll survive, yes. But if you shoot him in the head, he's dead. He's just dead. And there have been multiple times in the movie where Kraven is in an action sequence. Somebody pulls up with a Glock. They have the chance to shoot, and they go, bang! Completely miss him. Even with AKs, completely miss every single shot. And this happened multiple times in the film. Multiple times. And people... Oh, I want to say this, but close your ears if you don't want like any minor spoilers at all. But in the film at one point, somebody decided to forego shooting Kraven with a gun to shoot him with something else. And Kraven didn't see it coming, FYI. Kraven did not see this shit coming. So they could have easily just, bang, shot him in the head and end a movie. But they don't decide to do that. And it's like, you know he'll die from a headshot wound. But you don't. Let me not start. But bro, come on. Like, the action sequences were really cool. I think they were well designed. None of them were really centered around Kraven having a gun, and I really like that. It was all fisticuffs from Kraven, you know what I'm saying? And I really enjoyed that about the film, and I think they did that really well. And yeah, action sequences are definitely one of like the big strengths here. And I feel like most people that go to watch this movie are here for the action scenes anyway. And I will say, it was nice seeing a rated R Marvel movie. Yes. After seeing Venom and hearing it was PG-13 and seeing them cut away from all the gore, I was scared for Kraven the Hunter, but I found out it was rated R, and I think it suited this film super well with what Kraven does and how he acts. So yeah, I will say, like, the gore was definitely like a plus. I feel like that added to the action sequences too, and it wasn't just no stupid cutaway, you know. It was, you got the full thing at some points, especially towards the end. You saw a lot. Yeah, other than the action scenes though, when we touch more on the story, like, character motivations did not make sense sometimes. Like, there were one or two points in the film where I was like, yeah, this character doesn't really make much sense doing this. But yeah, like, even towards the end, like, character motivations were all over the place. I was like, what is going on? This does not make sense for this character. Why would this character do this when this has been pre-established? And it just had me a little confused, and I feel like they were just jumping to a lot of conclusions just to get the film over with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel like they definitely could have fleshed out character motivations a little. Like, let me think of an example real quick. There was, yeah, I can't give any examples without giving spoilers, so I'll probably just save it for a different video if I decide to do a spoiler video on this. But let's see, what else? Oh, I will say the beginning of the movie felt so slow. During the beginning, you could watch the first 8 minutes on YouTube. He does something. He does a big action piece. And then the movie slows down so much. And it doesn't really have like a focus on the movie. It's just like you're going along. And this goes for like a solid 30-40 minutes, and you don't know like where the film is building towards. Like, it's so confusing. It's like, oh, he has this, but he's not doing anything about it. Like, it's just kind of there, and he's not really doing anything throughout the whole movie. But halfway through the movie, we see a clear motivation, we see a clear goal, and it starts like piling up and snowballing. But yeah, that first like 30-40 minutes were really rough. Like, the beginning was cool, but the beginning that you see on YouTube is completely cool. That's why they showed it, honestly. But after that, it's just so slow for 30 minutes. Like, I feel like they could have done something better to speed up like the plot, but it was just a little slow. Other than that though, I think it's definitely a movie that is watchable. Like I said, if you don't know Kraven like that, go watch the movie. It'll probably be good. If you do know Kraven, prepare to be disappointed, because this is not the Kraven you came for. This is Hollywood Kraven, man. This isn't my fucking Kraven, bro. But yeah, I wish I went to see Sonic, bro. I would have probably had a better time with Sonic. But other than that, it is time for the final verdict. Now, what food does Kraven the Hunter deserve? a plain burger from McDonald's. Let's look at the inside real quick. Plain with pickles and with 2 chopped onions on it. That's all Kraven the Hunter deserves. It deserves this plain ass burger, bro. Listen, let me explain it. There is room for stuff to be added. Condiments can be added. More toppings can be added. Cheese can be added. But as it is very plain and mediocre. I don't know nobody that's ordering this. It's plain and mediocre. That's what Kraven is. That's what Kraven deserves. Like I said, stuff can be added. It could be bought from a better place. But with the onions and pickles added, it is a little bit better than its previous generations. If that makes sense. AKA better than Morbius and ass Madam Web. Cheers. Yeah, it's giving Kraven. It is giving Kraven. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see Kraven, go ahead. It's basically a plain cheeseburger, or a plain burger, excuse me, not even a cheeseburger, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Laters.